Are you one of those people who've had a poor report card or failed at a subject in school, or at some stage in your life, have you felt that people weren't thinking too much about you and didn't think you were up to much? Well, I have a story that you must listen to. The story of a young girl called Gillian Lynn. It's a story you must hear. Hello and welcome to another edition of Chai with Pai, our weekly series of videos where I share simple lessons and stories to help each of us become just a little bit better. Gillian was a 7-year-old kid in school when her teacher complained to her mother that she was being very fidgety and very distracted. The teacher also complained that she wasn't turning her homework in on time and wasn't particularly good at math. And the teacher suggested that maybe she'd be better off if she took her daughter to a school for special kids. The mother was obviously worried and a little disappointed, but she decided to take little Gillian to a psychologist, to another doctor. And the doctor sat in his chamber with the mother and little Gillian. Little Gillian, of course, sitting on a chair which was so high for her that her feet were just dangling in the air. And as the doctor heard the mother tell the entire story, he then paused and he told little Gillian that he was going to step out with her mother and would be back very quickly. Gillian, of course, smiled and said, "It's all right." And just before they left the room, what the doctor did was to turn on a radio which was on his desk. As they left the room, the radio began to play. And as they stepped out, the doctor asked the mother to take a look at little Gillian inside his chamber through a window. And as they looked in, what they found brought a smile to their faces. Little Gillian, as she heard the music, got off the chair and began to dance. You could see a sense of joy on her face, and she moved with amazing grace. And as they saw the little girl, the doctor turned to her mother and said, "Your child is not sick. She is a dancer. What you should be doing is take her out from this school and put her into dance school." Long story short, the mother actually heard the doctor's advice and put her in a dance school. And Gillian went on to do amazingly well in a school where all the other kids too were like her, itching to dance. She majored in ballet and became a part of the Royal School for Ballet and did extremely well, went on to become a choreographer, went and met Andrew Lloyd Webber and partnered on such great hits as Cats and The Phantom of the Opera. Gillian Lynn was the choreographer who made all those magical pieces happen. And if you think about it, maybe there's a lesson for all of us to remember. We all tend to look at little Gillian and worry that she is fidgety or that she's not good at math or she's not doing her homework. We see a problem child. We don't see a dancer. And maybe what we all need to do is to learn to look at children, indeed, look at the people around us with fresh eyes, not measure them on standards and yardsticks which we've always thought is what applies for everybody, but try and say, what's unique about this person? What's unique about each of these little kids that we might encounter? And you might then discover that what you see is really a dancer inside that little child. I think there's a genius, there's a champion, there's a master inside each of us. Problem is, we don't always find a doctor who can see that little dancer inside our body. What we all need really is someone who can turn the radio on and let the music play. Become that kind of person, and you'll suddenly discover that young kids young employees, young colleagues are all discovering that there is something magical inside each of them. Your job, my job, our jobs really is to ensure that we turn the radio on, let the music play, and allow the dancer to emerge. That's all in this week's edition of Chai with Pai. Until next time, let the music keep playing.